Stampers, this is Karen Phillip. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm going to show you how to make this card that I'm calling it a peekaboo fold, one of our fancy folds. So let's get started. This is what it looks like closed, and when you open it, you pull out from the right and open, and that's how it opens up for the inside. I have another sample that I've made in a different stamp set and different colors. Again, it just opens up like that. And for our little sample for club members, it's so cute. It's just some retired designer paper and the same idea, so they can put this in their sheet. Okay, so here's the kit that comes with club members packets. And I will show you how I cut them first of all, even though they're already cut. The first piece is a 4 by 5¼ inch designer paper. I use my layering circles, and I use the biggest one, which is 3 inches, and then I also use the next biggest one, which is 2 3/4, and the next one would be a 2 1/2. I guess that would be this one. The next one down is 2 1/2 for the sentiment. So what I did, trying to get everything so it doesn't go flying, what I did is I took my designer paper and layered it. I have number 1, number 2, number 3, the paper, and just centered it on toward the top of the designer paper. So you have about a 1/2 inch on each side, and then just put the circle die on there, ran it through the machine. Then the next layer that I did is on the Seaside Spray. So this one takes the 2 3/4 inch die, and this is the card base, which is 8 1/2 by 5 1/2 folded in half. So I opened this up, and then I took my piece that I already had cut out, and I centered it on, and this one's not quite centered, but I centered it on the blue paper, and then I actually put the die in the center, so I just kind of eyed it up, and then took off the designer paper and then ran it through my machine like this. So you have to run it sideways so that you don't cut off the back end of the paper. With that, then I ended up with a hole in here and this extra piece. And for this card, I'm using this piece for my flip around circle part. Okay, so now we can glue on our designer paper. And this one isn't going to be quite as even as some of them. You can use either side of the paper. This is Sand and Sea designer paper. I'm using the Sweet, the Sand and Sea Sweet, or Seashell Sweet, whichever one they're calling it. I can't remember, but I know it's the Seashell Sweet. Okay, then we will take a piece of 4 by 5, no, yeah, 4 by 5, wait, 5 1/2, oh my goodness, 5 1/4 by 8, that's what it is. And we will score it at 4 inches and at 6 inches. And this part is a little different than most folds because you would think that the center would go with the center, but that's not how this one's going to work. So I'm putting the adhesive on the full piece that doesn't have the score line on it, the 6-inch score line. We're going to put that on the card, and we're going to center it on with the fold line to the end of the card, but just leaving 1/8 of an inch around the entire piece of the white. So the fold actually is opposite of what it normally would be. So this folds out like that. Now we will fold it back on the score line, on the 6-inch score line. So you have, now it will open like this. We're going to close the card, and I'm not sure if you can see this, but this is where the card folds. We are going to put adhesive on just this part of the circle, and it works easier this way so that everything lines up. So we're just putting some adhesive just on the inside here. Let's see if I can, well, it's right here. Whoops, it's right here. Then we will take our circle that we punched out and put it right on top of that. That way we're sure that it lines up. And that's how we get this whole peekaboo thing. So it looks more complicated than it really is. On this card, I did not use the same color. I used a different color for this 2.5-inch circle. So you can do it either way. It just can save paper if it coordinates the right way, and this one happened to coordinate better this way than using a different color. Next we will put the sentiment on, and this is "Friends are like seashells, you collect them along the way," and that is from the Friends Are Like Seashells stamp set, and that's this one right here. And then this again was cut out in a 2 1/4 inch circle. So we'll put that on there. And now it's pretty much just the decorating of it. Sometimes this tape is not real cooperative. And then I also added a couple of little dots that's in the stamp set for little sand. And I stamped this in soft suede. Okay, so also for the front I have a little strip that's about 1/2 inch wide by 4, and that will just go on the front. It just needed a little something something. Just set that down there, about 1/2 inch up. Then I have the sand dollar, and I have the starfish, and these also came from the stamp set, and I used the die, the coordinating die, which has a lot of dies in it. I will show you. So it has the sand dollar and the starfish, but it also has this big one that cuts out all of this all at one time. We will adhere the sand dollar first, and I'm doing that flat. So that just goes on the right here. And then we'll use a dimensional for the starfish. Just stick that on right there and put that in the corner. And then to finish it off, I'm using a opal gem and putting one gem right in the corner here. And then I'll show you the inside. Okay. So we'll put that right here. There we go. Okay, so then the next part is the inside. So we'll open it up, and you could leave it plain, I suppose, but it needs something. So I just took a strip of designer paper. of the same Sand and Sea designer paper, and it can be either this side or this side. Each looks nice. I'm using this. It's sort of coordinated nicely with that. Put that in. And it's just a little piece like this, and this is about 1 1/8, or no, 1 1/4 by 5. Then I took another piece of the Seaside Spray, a 1/2 inch piece by 6 inches, and I'm going to glue it on this part right here, and we'll score it as we go. That way we're sure that it'll fit. Okay. So I'm starting on this fold line of this part and doing it about the same height as the other one. And we get to the score line. I'm just going to use my thumbnail, give it a little score, and then push it all the way down for the rest. And then you're assured that it will fit. You could stamp more inside here, but I wanted to use the entire suite, and this is enough room then to write a sentiment. So this suite also has some Seaside Shells stickers basically, and they are on pearlized paper, but it worked really nicely just for a little additional embellishment on that. So these just peel off. I'm using the flamingo seashell, and we're just putting that. I'm not quite sure how these are supposed to go. And then we'll put the other shell on. Oops. Oh, don't stick there. They're very sticky. Ah. Room for embellishments. And we'll put this right here. There we go. And I'll have to fix that somehow. I'll put something there. And that's it. So it's a simple card, it's a fun card, and enjoy making them. Thanks for watching and have a great day.